Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Rob.
And this is Ask Rob and Rob.
Welcome to Ask Rob and Rob. Thank you for joining us for 2 more listener questions and 2 more answers. Those questions coming up in just a sec. But it's so easy, Rob, to send your question our way.
It certainly is. We've collected it in all one lovely place for you. If you go to propertyhub.net/ask, you can find our number. You can leave a message directly there. And you can also leave questions for our weekly column in the Sunday Times. What a lovely collection. And you could do it all at propertyhub.net/ask. So if you have a question, make sure you get it in there.
Okay, let's listen to our first question. This one is from Bruno.
Hi, Rob and Rob. Bruno here. Just to start off with saying thanks for all you do. It's much appreciated. My question is, what are your thoughts and what are your opinions on maisonettes? Now, to expand my buy-to-let portfolio and to diversify, I'm looking for a freehold property, but I also want a flat, not a house, because I want to avoid all the maintenance and let's just say the cons that come with a house. So I'm looking for a freehold flat. And the reason why I want a freehold is to avoid all the cons that come with a leasehold property. So length of leases, service charges, ground rents, management companies, etc., etc. So long story short, I want the best of both worlds, a freehold and a flat, to avoid the maintenance costs and all the headaches that come with owning a house. Now, that is a bit difficult to find, so the best bet is probably to get a maisonette. So, yeah, just your thoughts on that kind of a property in terms of rental yields, in terms of capital appreciation, and, yeah, just your assessment, maisonettes versus leasehold flats. Yeah, what are your thoughts there? It would be much appreciated to hear that. Thanks. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bruno, you really are looking for the best of both worlds. You want to go out drinking, but you don't want to hang over the next morning. And I respect that. Why not have it all if you can? Unfortunately, I don't think this is your answer, though. I'm not saying that maisonettes are a bad investment at all. I'm just saying I don't think they solve your problem in the way that you hope they will. Because what you said is that you want to own freehold, because then you don't have to worry about any of the issues that can come with leasehold, including a service charge. But then you also don't want all the maintenance. But that's what the service charge is for. So what you're looking for is an investment where somebody else has the responsibility and all the costs of the maintenance for you, and you just do your thing and have the upside. And that'd be great if it existed, but it doesn't. Because there are different types of maisonette. So you'll get some that don't have any common parts at all, don't have a garden, none of that, so no service charge. But then if there is an issue with the structure of the building, say, then you'll still need to contribute to that. So let's say it's originally a single house that's been split into 2 maisonettes, then you and the other owner will need to figure that out. You also get maisonettes that tend to be more purpose-built, and they will have some kind of common areas, but then they'll also have a service charge. And that service charge, of course, won't be as high as if you had a gym and a swimming pool and all the rest of it, but there is still a service charge. So there's nothing wrong with maisonettes as an investment, but there's no need to restrict yourself to that type of investment because they're not a magical solution. So I think, Bruno, you need to think a bit about which is most important to you. Do you want to avoid the hassle, or do you want to avoid the cost and the potential issues that come along with leasehold? That way you can still keep maisonettes in the mix, but you can focus the bulk of your search on houses or flats. So there's no such thing as a perfect investment. Which type of imperfect is easier for you to live with? If you can figure that out, then that should enable you to make progress.
Next up, we've got a question in from Dan.
Hi, Rob and Rob. My name's Dan. Thanks for all the great advice over the years. I've been reading Rob's books since 2014, so I've gained a huge amount of knowledge from you guys and listening to the podcast and everything. I wanted to say I realise that I'm in a very fortunate position, but I have a small portfolio of properties that I rent out. I've effectively got 2 that I rent out, because I've got 1 that I own myself and then 2 half shares in 2 others, so it's effectively 2, and then the property that I live in. And they're all doing really well. They've got good loan to values, decent incomes. But the property that I live in is the one with the most equity. Now, I know you're going to say this is not the best use of that equity, but I think it's about 30% loan to value. It's just grown like that, which is very fortunate. It's very desirable. I really like the house, but also I'm nearing the tender age of 50, and I was thinking I might like to do some travelling. So I'm wondering about putting my own existing property, which is a really good property to rent out, into my portfolio as as a rental property. Now, I haven't rented since 2006, so I'm a bit nervous. I'd like a better expression, but I'm a bit nervous of stepping off that treadmill, if you know what I mean. But I do want to travel, and I suppose I know you can't tell me what to do, but tell me what to do. Should I just go for it and go around the world, or should I be cautious? And, I am looking to buy another property as well, so I'd like to do that before I go. Or should I just be cautious, sit tight for another 10 years and then have a really nice sort of retirement pot? I'd really like to know what you think. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Dan, I don't know if this should be a question for us or Tony Robbins, because this sounds like a bit of life advice is needed. But as you've asked, I will try and help. If travel is important to you and something you want to do, then do it. Don't let a property tie you down. You might be emotionally attached to that property. That's fine. Many of us are attached to our own homes. But by letting it out, getting some good insurance on it, and then travelling, you get best of both worlds. You get to go off and do the thing that you truly want to do, but you don't give up that property. And, better still, that property might be making you a little bit of profit as well as you go travelling the world, which helps with some of those expenses. Should you buy another property? Well, that's hard to say. That will depend on your goals and what you're trying to achieve. And that's how you should make these decisions, is understand what you want from property in the long term and then work back from there. So if you need your properties to be worth a certain amount in the future because of a goal that you have, then look to see, are you likely to get there with your current portfolio? And if not, then maybe take action. But as far as the travel is concerned, what's the worst that can happen? Let it out for 6 months. Just see how you get on. If you want to come home, you can. And then you'll have the property back in a few months' time. But you never know. It might be the best thing you ever do. Life, unfortunately, is short. So don't let a property stand in the way of doing the stuff that you really care about.
Thank you for those questions. We'll be back to answer more questions next week, and we'll be answering questions in the Sunday Times, of course, on Sunday. But before then, we'll see you for the Property Podcast on Thursday. Until then, have a great week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.